Good morning, everyone. How are you? And it's Cheryl Leong from Your Property VA. So I had a special request. As usual, I ask if anyone has specific questions about business, property, outsourcing. And we have a request from Richie about how to secure a property via option with the owner. And I have my special board again. I have to admit, I'm still trying to work out how to do the flippy whoppy thing. So bear with me because I haven't quite figured out the technology around that. But in any case, I'm sure you can figure it out. So we've got options. So a large part of what we do with our clients and our developers, so we've got developers who join us as well, is we do a lot of research and data collection around the areas that we Hi Richie, how are you doing? I hope this is helpful for you. And then anyone any questions as well, please feel free to pipe in the comments section. One is definitely to understand which areas that we'll step back a few notches. Be clear on where you're wanting to secure your site. If we're talking about development site here, and tone it down to three suburbs. Try not to spread yourself too widely, and it's better if they're sort of fairly close, so you know the council and the regulations. So those are all planning things. We help a lot of developers to actually do a lot of web scraping and finding suitable sites. Where we generate hundreds and hundreds of sites for our developers to then qualify as well. So once you've done that qualification process and you've gone through and done, it's the right size, say for example, you're looking for a site that might be suitable for a small townhouse development. So is that 1,000 square meters to 2,000 square meters, whatever that might be. And you've picked out from that particular suburb that you're looking into, say, 20 potential sites. So the next thing you really need, so that's the first thing. I've got five tips here. And again, excuse the flippy board because it's just the way it is for the time being. So you need to identify your areas and identify your sites. So number one, it's identify your sites. Then the next thing is to send out letters. If you're not doing, I've done a lot of letter drops and they've been quite successful. The main thing with letter drops as well is to make them stand out. So I have a tip. I had just sharing about 20 vendors come together for one of my letter drops in an area that I was looking to amalgamate quite a few hundred acres. And what I actually did there was put my letter in a black envelope. So when they reached out to me, and they knew it was the one thing, well, not many people put letters in black envelopes or yellow, so pick a color. What you want to do is for your letter to be able to stand out to begin with. And then it's what's in the letter is what's going to draw them. So a few tips there. Try to avoid saying anything about options or really make it conversational and make it so that people don't feel that it's all about you. So always talk when you're writing anything, and letters are marketing materials as well. Write about them and what you're looking to do to work with them to achieve a great result. Talk about they may or may not be aware that their property may have development potential, and you'd like to discuss it with them to see if that may be something, if they're looking to sell, if that's something that they might be interested in discussing direct with a buyer. So don't go diving into what you're looking to do to begin with, because it really puts people off. Because at the end of the day, anyone that's opening up your letter wants to know, the number one thing that they want to know is what's in it for me. They don't care who you are, and I'll be honest about that. They want to know what's in it for me. So craft your letter so that it is to, when it's like any other marketing material, craft it so it's talking about them and their pain points, and if they are interested, to be in contact with you. So even from that very beginning, you want to build rapport with the owners from the get-go. They want to be able to know, they still don't trust you as yet. They don't know who you are. They don't know you from a bar of soap. So build that rapport from the very beginning and have them reach out to you. So you've got to identify your sites, and then you've got to be able to reach out to the owners. Various ways. Letter drops. You can do door knocking. It's not something that I've done. And I don't particularly feel comfortable with, and it's not so much a comfort thing, it is more so that I just want people to, I think sometimes it's a little bit intimidating as well, particularly when you're buying a property. People like to be able to find out if you're the right person that they want to deal with to start off with, before they even before they even buy, before they even have a transaction with you. You've got to remember as well, selling and buying properties, selling particular for owners. If you're talking to owners who have been in the property for a long time, it's a big emotional, I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. It's a big emotional journey. And you've got to be able to work with them through that journey and what those objections are, because it's changed. I remember lots of coffee and scones meetings with vendors that have been in properties for years, and they've probably had children there. It could be 30 years, 40, 50 years. So for them to consider selling, there has to be a big push about it. So you need to be able to put yourself in their shoes, and understand what would be the motivating factors to sell and work with you. And money isn't necessarily the only reason. So find out how you're reaching out to the owners, and whether that's letter drops. You can use social media, obviously. Facebook has been quite a strong lead generator for us as well. A lot of vendors that are out there who are looking to sell, but letter drops are a really strong way that that they're going to end up in their letterbox. But here's another tip: don't just send your letter once. Send it twice. Send it 3 times. Because the first time they might look at it and sort of go, I don't know. If you're lucky, they open it. The second time is to sort of just follow up to see, hey, just following up from my last letter, still really keen. If you're interested, sort of work through that. It's just like anything else. It is really a bit of a sales process. So as much as you may not think you are a salesperson, you are going through a bit of a sales process, because at the end of the day, someone's buying into what you are looking to do with them. So the second time it doesn't get through, send the third time, and it can be the last time, if you decide. But provide in that letter a sense of urgency. Here's another story. I put together a site that was 100 acres. In saying that there was only one owner. However, that site was, you could probably get about, I can't recall now, I think it was close to about 1,000 lots. It was a subdivision. I sent the letter the first time and they didn't respond. I sent it the second time and they responded. But I referred to that letter and I said, did you get my first letter? I asked them, I said, thank you for responding. I've sent you a letter before. And they said, I actually didn't receive the first letter. So that was a really, really good reminder for me to never let it go at just the first or the second or the third, until you hear back. And it's not like you're pestering. You have to mold your correspondence in a way, like again I said, makes them build rapport with you and builds that level of trust in who you are as a person, and that you're not just someone that just wants to suck every single bit of, of money from them, whatever it might be. But you see, you need to build a sense that you are someone that's approachable, and you're not that big money hungry in developer. How long do you wait before sending the second and third letter, Cheryl? I do probably wait about 2 to 3 weeks. Well, probably not 3 weeks, 2 weeks if I don't hear back. But I want people to have a little bit of time, because sometimes it's just maybe just a conversation thing, that they've received your first letter, they're sort of interested, but they have that conversation with their family, and if it's something that they've lived in for a long time, it is a big decision. So they need to have that conversation with their partner and their family, if they've got grown-up children, whatever that might be. So give them a little bit of space and a bit of time, and also not come across like you're pestering people. I'm very mindful of that and respectful of people's decisions and their space. So even in your letters, write about that. Be genuine. Be really, really genuine that you are wanting to find a solution and a win-win for everyone, but more so something that you feel that you can work with them on. So I hope that answers your question there. I'm going to move this a little bit here. So we've identified our site. We reached out to the vendor, and fortunately, someone rings you on your phone or your email, and they say, yeah, I'm interested. I would say don't delve into your sales pitch at the beginning. What you want to do is qualify people to see if they are ready and they are the right owners that you want to work with. So here's that whole mindset again. Come from a mindset of abundance. So it is exciting when you're starting off, when you get a vendor and an owner, and they've rung you. So I should say owner, because vendors are people who are generally wanting to sell. So owner that's reached out to you, it isn't. You tend to get excited and you're like, yes, I'm gonna talk to you. This is what I'm wanting to do and everything else, but not forgetting when they reach out to you, it's as much you qualifying them as they are qualifying you. So have a short conversation with them to begin with, and premise that call to be able to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, a few things here is to really work out if this is something that is of interest to you and if it's the right fit. And it could only be a short call. No, it needs to only be about 15 to 20 minutes. And write this down as a bit of a script for you, as a guide, script, whatever you might call it. But really lead the conversation, because they're keen to find out what it is that you have to offer, but you don't want to delve into that to begin with, because you haven't quite worked out if they're the right people that you want to work with, and they haven't worked out if you're the right person that's going to provide that solution to them. So just with anything else, again, I go back to this, that it's like a sales process, that you need to qualify and you need to work out if people are the right fit for you, and then take them through a journey. People like to be taken on a journey and to want to look at you as the expert. So even if you haven't done this before, or you've only done it a few times, always place yourself as the expert and really plan out what your funnel is going to look like and how you're going to execute it. So have that 15 to 20 minute call with them, and at the end of it, you want to be able to say, I either, if it's the right fit, okay, what we'll do is we'll organize to catch up at your property. And if we're not the right fit, I'm going to let you know, and I appreciate your time, and respectfully, obviously I won't have to follow up with you again. There's no obligation. And so you want that owner to be able to say, yes, I'm happy with that. And they feel comfortable, because they've got a way out as well. If they're not comfortable with the process, they're not comfortable with you, or whatever it is that you're that you're talking about or offering. However, if they are, that's when they go to the next level and you have that one-on-one meeting, preferably at their place, but always open up as to where they're comfortable with meeting up, because some people might not be comfortable with meeting in their homes and they might want to do so at a cafe or whatever. This is post-COVID, by the way. If you have to do Zoom calls, that's absolutely fine as well. But the main thing, put it in their court as to what they're comfortable with. So we've got that next point where we've finally, meet with the owner, is you want to build rapport. And I can't spell, but we want to build rapport. So what is rapport is, again, this is rapport that you've started from the very beginning with your letters, but now that you're face to face, what they're actually wanting to find out is, one, do I like this person and can I feel comfortable and can I trust them? And then two, do they know what they're doing? Because I'm selling my property, and if what you're looking to propose to them is some sort of, maybe it might be a joint venture, it might be an option or whatever, there's a whole lot of questions that they have and uncertainty around that whole process. Because, again, remembering that most owners have no idea what an option is. And then second, and if they do, it doesn't necessarily mean that they understand the development process. So you as the developer have to come across as the expert to show them that you know exactly the steps that need to be taken and guide them through that, because that's what they want to feel. They want to feel supported, and they want to know that they can trust you. So the more that you can educate them through the process and guide them through it, and the word is guiding. You need to be the person that they know that is helping them to get to where they want, and not the person that's looking to just make money from their property. All right, so I'm going to repeat that again. You need to be the person that they feel that you're trusted and guiding them through a process, as opposed to the person that's just going to make money from it. All right, because that's where it makes a huge difference between them working with you and them not. My next point is, apart from rapport, you need to be patient. You need to be really, really patient. Again, a lot of owners have never been through a development process before, and so they'll have lots and lots of questions. Be ready. You need to also role play this, because write down all the objections that you feel that owners might have and make sure that you've got a way to overcome those objections. And those objections don't necessarily mean that they don't agree. It's just that they're wanting to find out from you how you're going to help them get over that objection. All right. And a really good way of finding out what is the underlying reason for any objection is to just ask them. So we often get objections about, what if so say for example you framed it so that you're hoping your best case scenario is that you get an option, a call option. It'll be 24 months, and if you get the DA, or if it all goes through, you enter into the option, and if not, basically you lose your option fee and anything else that you spent on it. So the objection often comes up, what if you don't get the DA? And so you need to put the question back onto them and understand what that concern is. It's always it's the whole interaction with an owner is about questioning, and the right sort of questions and open-ended questions. As much as possible, get open-ended questions, and then narrow it down so that what you want the owner to do is to say yes. So open-ended questions could be, if you were, we'll talk about, say, we'll start off with an open-ended question around entering into agreement. So if, say for example, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, you're looking to sell, and you're looking for about, what sort of price range are you looking for? And say they share it with you. They may or they may not. It might be $750 or whatever. So then you open up. So what would your thoughts be if we were to have an extended settlement, however, at a bit of a premium? How would that suit your timetable and your expectations about this particular deal? You can frame it whatever way. I'm sort of, just thinking on the spot here. But it is to be able to get them to share with you what their best case scenario is. You want to extract from them, and extract's probably a wrong word. You want to be able to work with them to find out what their best case scenario is, what your best case scenario is, and come to some sort of massaging middle ground there. Again, I go back to rapport. Understand why it is they're interested, but what are the motivations behind why they might be looking to sell, and why they might be be open to extended settlements, and work out what their needs and their wants are. So those are the main things that I always ask. I have little people that have found me. So beware. They will be talking. Hello. How are you? So we are building rapport, understanding what their needs and their wants are and what their best case scenario. Always ask what is it that they're comfortable with, so that you can work with them.
Is this live?
It is live. Okie doke. I'm all done. Thank you. Let's head
Hello.
out now.
I want to say hello. I want to say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello, subscribers.
And I've even brought my children to a meeting with an owner before. They were very, very nice. Not the children, the owners. Excuse me. Can I get you to hop off, please?
Yeah.
So always put it in their court to share with you what their needs and wants are, and it then helps you go in when you have that initial meeting with them. Go in with an open mind to be able to find out as much as you can about them and understand their position. Then craft your offer around that. So that first meeting, you probably will have a few meetings. It won't be done in the first meeting. The first meeting is to really just build that rapport and get to know them, understand them. And it's only when you get to the next meeting, and again, make sure you're guiding them through a journey so they feel supported and guided. Excuse me. And always tell them what to expect by the end of your meetings. End of your call, they know what to expect, and guide them through what the steps are. Anyone else have children that are working with them? Sometimes they're a bit of a pain, I have to admit. But we just go with the flow. So it's probably by the time you get to the third meeting that you really come down and say, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I've gone through our conversation, and this is what I understand are your needs. Has anything changed since then? And this is what I've come about as a solution and an offer to be able to work with you on settling your property. And so you'll see from there, it's not something that happens overnight. You've got what she means
is join her team.
Join my team. That's right. My team's amazing. So you've got a few steps that you've got to take to be able to get to this point. I may have to continue this because it's obviously going really well, and little people have decided that it's time to have a disco in my house. So I'm going to continue this, but what I want to be able to say was it's by the end of that last conversation with the owner that you really sit down and talk through what your offer is, and what it is that you want to do to be able to help them achieve the best result for them. Really think outside the box. Really think about what you can do to be able to help them through whatever needs and wants they have.
Needs is healthy food and your want is junk.
That is true. That is very true. I'm glad I've taught you something.
No, my teacher taught me that.
Your teacher. Okay, sorry. Well, I'm
why
trying to homeschool
Why is
as well.
Sarah doing that?
We work through their needs and their wants and craft your offer with either removalists or working with buyer's agents who are going to be able to help them find their properties. Agents that will help them find their properties and find the properties that they need to be able to move out of the property, for example. It's through this process that people are really building that sense of a really strong relationship and that trust in you. It all does come down to rapport. And again, I said, be patient because this is something that doesn't necessarily happen overnight. I think it's time to go. Bye, everyone.